My name is Bradley Cholton Raymond. I am the writer and director of The Golden Girl. The Golden Girl is being made by my production company, which is Crazy Goose Productions, and this is the making of that film.
Cut! So I play Vanessa, so she's the director of the film The Golden Girl, and it's been the pinnacle. She sees it as the pinnacle of her career. It's a film that she's very passionate about, storyline that she's very passionate about.
So I don't think you can make a film without having inspiration from previous filmmakers and films you've seen in the past. They're there, they're kind of, for someone like me who loves cinema and has seen films throughout the generations, I think it becomes a part of your DNA. And sometimes you'll unconsciously reference these films, you won't even know you're doing it, but they're there, they're in you. I know, for example, I was just, when we shoot the screening room scene, and there's the shot of Vanessa and Phil, when it was shot, that's how I had it in my mind. We filmed it and it was done. We got back, when I looked at it on the computer, I looked at it and I thought, oh my god, this is without doubt a shot from a film called Harold and Maude by Hal Ashby. It was, if you put them side by side, they look so similar. I didn't know it at the time, but it was in there. There are other decisions, other things that are far more conscious. So Scorsese with the tracking shots, I think of the Goodfellas shot when they go through the kitchens. That shot was in my mind when I was preparing our tracking shot on the set. I knew I wanted a similar movement, a similar dynamicism of the people that are within the frame, people moving across the frame, in and out, and yeah, that was a big one.
Hello, I'm playing Rebecca. My character is kind of the secondary and antagonist, that's the word. Well, she's our money. She has to be in it. It's not something she would have necessarily gone for herself. I think she feels a bit thrust upon as well with it. But like, she wants to do well, she's just not actually very good at it.
The red camera, also known as red camera, is really good because it has a very high dynamic range, which means that if you're shooting, for example, in a very low light environment, it will get the lighting very high. For example, let's say you're shooting inside and there's not much light inside, and there's a window with bright light, and the person is standing back from the window. Usually with any camera, that person will be totally dark, right? Well, with the red camera, that person there will still be light on that person, so it's really good to get light in low light conditions.
There was always going to be a duel with the pistols, but originally it was two men. So the bad actor, the golden boy as it was then, whereas now it's obviously the golden girl, was it was interesting, but it didn't raise many questions. Whereas now, I think by having a female director and female actresses, it raises many more questions. It's a much more interesting film. But what really drove me to do it is, when we think of a duel, we think of men dueling. You think of the Three Musketeers with swords, or Barry Lyndon, you know, in there, it's men that are dueling, always men. And in great works of literature like Dangerous Liaisons and stuff like that, you always see men duel. Turns out women used to duel all the time. It was very, very common, and this is based on a partially true story. It was in France, and high society women decided that they were gonna, so one decided that she was gonna start seeing this chap. The guy was actually two-timing her with another woman. Eventually they both found out, they went crazy, and they decided the only way we could do it, the only way that they could settle it, was to have a duel, and whoever won got the man. As it happened, he ran off with somebody else anyway, so neither of them got the man. But it was really, really fascinating, and I thought, I've never seen it on film, and you know, we're gonna do it here. So that's kind of the origin of the story and the film.